In Ben Franklin's autobiography, he tells a story of how he turned one of his rivals in the Pennsylvania General Assembly into an ongoing friend and ally, and it started with asking this rival to lend him a book. And this was the beginning of an ongoing relationship and back and forth, which ended with them being pretty close. And he makes the general point that it's usually better if you want to build a relationship with someone, instead of doing a favor for them, to ask them to do something nice for you. Now, this is a very important and powerful technique, as anyone who's good at networking can tell you. Now, the academic psychologists have an explanation for this, for what they call the Franklin effect. And a bunch of them say that it works by cognitive dissonance, which means that the person doing the favor has a story in their head about themselves, and they try to conform to the story because otherwise it would get confusing for them. And so when they do a favor for you, then they have this story that because I did this favor, the reason I do that is because we're friends, because I'm the sort of person who does nice things for you. And in the future, if opportunities come up, then continuing to do nice things for you will fit that story, and so they'll want to keep doing it. Now, my own experience doesn't really match this, because what I've found is that what happens after I get a favor or give a favor depends a lot on what the person getting the favor does with it. I find that if someone does a favor for me and I kind of waste it, it doesn't really help me very much, then, especially if this is our first interaction, this is actually pretty bad for the relationship. It's almost like I failed an audition, and I'm sort of working uphill if I try to get a deeper relationship with that person. On the other hand, if they do a favor for me and it's really helpful and it goes quite well and I demonstrate that to them, then this is pretty good, and they'll be positively disposed towards me. And if they do something for me and it helps a bunch, and also I do something nice for them, then this is really strong. This can be the foundation of some of the most valuable relationships in my life have started this way. So what I think is happening is that people evaluate each other to see who would be a good coalition partner or a good ally or a valuable friend. Usually this is implicit, sometimes it can be explicit, but usually it's sort of going on in the back of our minds. Nevertheless, this is a lot of what people are doing. And when we get a favor from someone and show that we can work well with it and do something in return, this is a pretty powerful demonstration that an ongoing relationship could be valuable. So Ben Franklin, by asking for the book, was showing that he was willing to be friendly. And then because he's Ben Franklin, he's this leading businessman and extremely politically adept guy, he is in fact very valuable to his former rival. I've seen a bunch of my friends try this type of strategy of just getting a favor from someone or just making a connection without having anything to follow up, without being able to provide any value back to them. And it doesn't really work that well. They flame out pretty early. They might get the connection, they might get the favor, but it doesn't lead to an ongoing relationship that they want. And this points to a more general mistake that people often make, where when they see behavior that they don't understand, a lot of us are very quick to assume that it must be irrational, it must be a mistake. This is especially true of very strategic people, who by definition understand things about the world that most people don't. And so if you see someone who's very successful, who's doing something that looks to you like it's very silly, consider the possibility that they know something about how the world works that you don't know, and then see if you can figure out what it is. This is a really powerful way to reverse engineer very important secrets. I'm Ben Landau-Taylor. I work with Bismarck Analysis. Thank you for watching this video, and please subscribe.